Welcome to Today of All Days, episode 137.
That's just smashing. Today is, thank God it's Thursday, the 26th of October, 2017. And today is...
National Pumpkin Day! I think that it's time that we all address the elephant in the room. For too long have we stood by and watched the mutilation of our brothers. For what? The color of their skin? Every year there is a massive slaughter, a genocide even, and sometimes we light a candle for them. But mostly, we just let them rot in the sun.
He's talking about pumpkins, of course. Many people don't realize that every year millions of pumpkins are tossed away. All of the energy that goes into growing them is wasted. On average, 1.4 billion pounds of pumpkins are produced yearly, and most of these are thrown away or sold to be cut up as Halloween decorations.
Many people don't realize that there are two main types of pumpkins, the kind you carve and the kind you eat. The larger ones are typically for carving, but you can still eat every part of them, including the stem, skin, and seeds. Each pumpkin contains around 500 of those delicious snack pods. Don't just throw them away. If you grow too many pumpkins, then consider donating the extras to your local farm or zoo. Animals love eating pumpkins.
And on top of all of this, jack-o'-lanterns weren't even originally made from pumpkins anyway. The Irish created the jack-o'-lantern and made them with potatoes and turnips. To add insult to injury, the word pumpkin didn't even exist until it showed up in the book called Cinderella. Their original name translates into large melon. Much simpler.
So, this Halloween, I know that everybody's trying to get into the spirit of things, but let's try not to be as wasteful as we are every other year. Most of the pumpkins that are grown end up going in the garbage. If anything, at least try to use the pumpkin for compost so that it can go into growing something else.
And that brings us to...
Today in History. In 1984, a human received an animal organ for the first time in medical history.
Stephanie Faye Bouclair was born on October 14th with hypoplastic left heart syndrome. HLHS is a congenital heart defect where the left heart is underdeveloped. Basically, the aortic and mitral valves do not grow completely or remain completely closed, and this prevents blood from pumping to the body.
Yeah, I've heard that disease is hard to beat. For Stephanie Faye Bouclair, she would not have lived long without receiving a transplant as soon as possible. The problem was, and still is, that it's difficult to find donor hearts, and it is extremely difficult to find baby donor hearts.
To get the procedure done, Dr. Leonard Bailey chose to use an infant baboon heart in lieu of a human heart. The plan was to give baby Faye another transplant at a later date with a human heart. The thing is, an interspecies transplant had never yet been successful in humans. And on top of that, a heart transplant had never been performed on a baby at all at this point.
Trying to do two first with one cut.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dr. Bailey had conducted over 150 cross-species transplants in baboons, goats, and sheep, and was a pioneer in the field. He took on the job, and the procedure was successful. The first simultaneous heart transplant in a baby and the first successful xenograft in a human baby had been done. The only problem was Baby Faye's blood type.
Baby Faye's blood was type O, and the donor heart was type AB. Baby Faye's body eventually rejected the new organ, and she died just 21 days later. Now, less than 1% of baboons are blood type O, so the problem was inevitable. But again, the plan was simply to buy time for another permanent donor to be found.
Though Baby Faye didn't live long, the surgery was the first success of its kind. The procedure brought a lot of controversy regarding the ethics of transplanting animal organs into humans. However, it was thanks to this procedure that the first successful human-to-human, or infant-to-infant, heart transplant was achieved.
And up until that point, if a baby was born with any sort of heart defect of that severity, doctors would often just tell the parents to either leave their baby at the hospital or take them home to die.
That's a rough decision right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Or go find you a young baboon.
Advances in medical science sometimes start off sounding like science fiction, but we owe Dr. Bailey a little bit of thanks on this day.
Today of all days.
Today of all days.
And we will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.